This time, we ask that you turn off your portable electronic devices or turn them to airplane mode. Ladies and gentlemen, the captain has turned off the fasten seatbelt sign. You are now free to move out of the cabin.
Welcome back to our pod crew. Last week, we welcomed my parents as our first guests aboard. They watched the dogs as we took a quick trip to Belize to renew our visas for the CA4 countries. We introduced our new ride that my parents brought down on the plane with them. This time, we dive a little deeper into the area, doing fun touristy stuff and checking out the great restaurants in this part. We get up to some shenanigans at anchor and explore the really neat area of the Rio Dulce around the Cayo Quemado, Texan Bay area. We get help fixing an engine issue, and then we take a maiden voyage down to the salty water at Livingston and the mouth of the Caribbean. While my parents were here, our real plan was to get out and get to Honduras with them on board. However, the weather was not cooperating this week, and so we made the most of their stay and explored the area here in Rio Dulce, which I highly recommend if you're coming this way on your sailboat, or if you just like off-the-beaten-path kind of adventures. There is a natural hot springs that comes out of the rocks and into a certain part of the river. So we decided to do the touristy thing and go check it out. There's also a cave tour, which was inexpensive and was interesting. Plus, it gave us a nice little hike to and from the caves. Just a couple-minute ride down the river is the Hairo restaurant.
This lady falls in more than she makes it across. Oh, look at there!
Gracias. Muy amable. Now that we all have a beverage. Aquí en el centro. Daddy, cheersies. The drinks and the food hit the spot, and then we raced the setting sun back to the boat, arriving just before dark. When we'd set out down the river, we were yet unaware that we were about to have trouble with our engine. It's a rainy day down here, and quite cold. However, during that trip, we started having frequent lulls in power, turning the engine off completely at one point. We strapped our new dinghy to the side of the boat and made it into the anchorage, and then we spent the next few days figuring this all out. Okay, we're going into the cockpit. There's Hairo in there. So that's how big it is. Looking to see if we can get onto a dock here where we can get power. Fortunately, Texan Mike, who has the restaurant, was so gracious to let us use his dock. Thanks, Mike. Wow, we're almost in the trees. But we've got 3 meters, so I've never been this close. Okay, mi amor, jale un poquito. O yo voy en marcha. It's funny how things work out sometimes. Just last week, our sweet friend Bill had spent hours and hours with us, giving us a full introduction to our diesel engine, including how to get air out of it, and he had talked extensively about what would happen if we found out that our fuel was dirty. It's not uncommon for a bacteria to grow in the diesel.
The lime green stuff is contamination. It's got a peacock valve right there. We can turn that and drain this, and we can look and see what the contamination is. That little deal there is a pump, and you pump it with your fingers. Yeah. Sound effects are incredible. So what we're doing is manually pushing diesel fuel. It goes back up into this deal up into here, goes through the filter, comes back out and goes to the engine. Either one or two ways we get the air out. One way is to loosen 1, 2, 3, 4 caps on the injectors. That's one way, or that one possible. And the air can come out of that.
We diagnosed the problem as probably contaminated fuel, so we had a two-step process. We called in the professionals to come and polish our fuel.
I see, so he's making a round hole.
And then Hairo and I took a long, bumpy road in our brand new dinghy up the 11 or so miles back to town. Go. Pick up a few filters for our Raycor system, which keeps our fuel clean. We'd been meaning to service our outboard, which we hadn't done in way too long. Then we were off to do our errands. A big day of errands. And this is our first grocery haul in our new True Kit. Hope it's not bouncing all over the place down the lake. It took us 50 minutes to get here, 5-0. We'll see how long it takes us to get us home, fully loaded. We took the dogs over here to this island once before, and unfortunately we discovered there's ticks. But on the other side of the island there's a little beach, so we're gonna go see if we can let the dogs play there without bringing home any pests. Okay, let's calm down please. Reina, I know we're excited, I know it's so good listening, Rainy. Okay, you guys want to go? Run? Good girl, Raina. Okay, you can go. Good girl, Bella. Pepper, the way Pepper swims, oh my gosh. So we got her a life jacket. I absolutely love this new dinghy. It's a little bit of an adjustment since we had a fiberglass 11-foot dinghy before this. So obviously there's going to be some differences, but this is so much fun to take the dogs to the beach. We're talking about putting a cooler there to use it as a seat. That would probably be our only complaint would be just the seat isn't real. It doesn't really stay. It kind of pops out, and we've seen other people using a cooler, and I think that's a great idea. Then we'll have a place to contain stuff as well as a place to bring home cold groceries. Okay, go ahead, Pepper. Okay, go ahead, Gomi. Come on, Bella. Come on, Reina. Ahora que se hizo mi cow. Come on, Bella. Good jumping. We were going to achieve a maiden voyage, and that was finishing the trip down the river to Livingston, which we had never done before on our sailboat. Poor Raina cut her foot on some glass that we had thrown away in a trash bag. She jumped into the dinghy before we could stop her, and now it looks like the scene of a crime in here. It's cold up here. Here, you can wear these. Let's put this on. We'll share with Mogi. It's okay, Mogi. You can use it too, bud. Here. There we go. Yeah. ¿Cuál quiere? Este? There's some interesting curves and shallow places in the river, and so, although exciting, I was very nervous setting out early in the morning to make our way down. We're here in Livingston. And this is the first time that our boat has been in the saltwater since we've had her. And as far as we know, probably 10 years or so. So it feels so good to come down here. There's twists and turns in the river and some very deep places and some very shallow places. Leading up to it, there's a little bit of anticipation and maybe a little bit of worry and a little bit of nervousness. But having done it, it's just another check on our list of accomplishments, and we're getting more and more comfortable. Look at that gorgeous expanse of Caribbean out there just beckoning us to come out, put up our sails. We're watching as boats come in and out over the sandbar behind us, this notorious area at the mouth of the Rio Dulce River. And people don't seem to be having any trouble today. Tide's actually dropping and we just saw a boat go over perfectly fine. I don't think we're gonna try it today because unfortunately, even though the wind out in the Caribbean right now is only predicted to be 10 to 15, it would be coming directly on the nose to us heading out to Honduras. And our friends that are out there said, just don't do it, wait until a better window. So my parents have been here for over 2 weeks now. They were only gonna come for 10 days. They just can't stay and wait much longer. Much as we'd love to have them just stay, they gotta get home. They've got 2 dogs too that are at doggy daycare, which isn't cheap either, so. My parents sailed us across the Pacific from California to Hawaii in 18 days. And this was 20 years ago, before there was really the technology at all that we have today. Went through a couple hurricane near misses, came back to San Diego once, waited several months, went again, and actually got caught in a hurricane. We were between Hawaii and California, so there was no clear option, so we just kept going. We were just kids. We made the most of it, sliding from one end of the galley to the other, down the wood floor, over the 30-foot swells. You just kind of got used to it at a certain point. It wasn't even scary anymore. I'm so proud of our dogs, though. They're just adjusting perfectly, easily. They just aren't having any trouble with the boat or the motoring. We'll see once we get out into some seas what they do, but I think that they're just so brave and they just really trust us. So I just don't think that they're gonna have a problem at all. Over the past few weeks, we've been keeping a close eye on the weather. Luckily for us, the window is just on the horizon. So next week, we are going out and we are getting salty. This is some major dreams coming true kind of stuff. And we would be so excited if you would come along with us for this journey. Thank you so much for being here. I really sincerely mean that. And big salty kisses from the pod crew.